In the depths of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, where nature has reclaimed the land abandoned by humans, a group of scientists embarked on a chilling experiment. They installed motion-activated cameras in the forests surrounding the infamous nuclear disaster site. What they captured would leave them horrified. The purpose of the project was simple: to study how wildlife had adapted to the radioactive environment. Decades after the explosion at Reactor 4 in 1986, the area remained a ghostly wasteland. Yet reports suggested that animals were thriving despite the radiation. Wolves, deer, bears, and even the elusive lynx had been spotted in the forbidden zone. With the cameras set up in key locations, the scientists hoped to collect valuable data on the behaviours and movements of these animals. The first few days yielded promising results. Herds of deer grazing peacefully, a lone wolf trotting through the shadows, and even a mother bear leading her cubs through the overgrown ruins of Pripyat. But then something disturbing happened. On the seventh night of surveillance, one of the cameras picked up an anomaly. At first it appeared to be just another night vision shot of the eerie, silent forest. Then a figure stepped into the frame. At first glance it resembled a human, but something was terribly off. The shape was unnaturally thin, its limbs slightly elongated. It moved with an unnatural fluidity, as if gliding rather than walking. The eyes, if they were eyes, glowed faintly in the darkness, reflecting the camera's infrared light. The scientists watching the footage in real time froze. There were no humans legally allowed in this part of the zone, especially not at night. Who or what was this? Determined to get answers, the team checked the next set of footage the following morning. They found more unsettling images. In several clips the figure appeared again, but this time it was closer. The camera's timestamp showed that it moved erratically, sometimes appearing at impossible speeds, covering vast distances between frames. At one point the figure stood perfectly still for hours, watching. One particular shot sent shivers down their spines. The figure had stopped directly in front of the camera. Its face was pale, distorted and emotionless, with dark, hollow sockets where eyes should be. Its mouth was slightly open, but no visible breath or sound came from it. The following night, something even more terrifying occurred. One of the cameras, securely mounted to a tree, was found ripped from its position and smashed into the ground. The footage leading up to the destruction showed only static interference, followed by a brief, blurry image of what appeared to be a hand reaching towards the lens. Shaken by the events, the scientists reviewed all their data. They cross-referenced old reports from Chernobyl workers, local legends, and even classified Soviet documents. What they discovered was disturbing. In the immediate aftermath of the disaster, several first responders had vanished without explanation. Some spoke of hallucinations, shadowy figures moving in the ruins, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. One particularly unsettling report came from a firefighter who had worked during the first hours of the meltdown. He described seeing people moving in the reactor's glow, figures that shouldn't have been there. A leading scientist on the team proposed a chilling hypothesis. What if prolonged exposure to radiation had caused more than just genetic mutations in animals? What if, in some way, it had altered certain human victims, those who never made it out? Could the entity they captured on camera be one of them? Determined to investigate further, the team decided to install a new set of cameras. But on the night before they were scheduled to return to the forest, something terrifying happened. One of the researchers, a woman named Dr. Yelena Morozov, woke up gasping for air in the team's makeshift lab. She had been dreaming. No, not dreaming. She had seen something. In her mind, she was standing in the same forest clearing where they had placed the cameras. She wasn't alone. That figure, the pale, elongated one, was there, watching her, but this time it spoke. She couldn't remember the words, only the sensation of overwhelming dread. The voice had been neither human nor animal, but something else entirely. And when she awoke, she found deep, fresh scratches on the floor beside her cot. The team decided to leave. 2 days later, when another research team went to retrieve the cameras, they found something unexpected. Every single camera had been removed, not destroyed, not broken, just gone. No tracks were left behind, no sign of human interference. The only remaining evidence of their presence was a single solitary tape that had been left behind, placed neatly in the center of the abandoned research site. When they played it, the screen flickered with static for several minutes. Then a final, chilling image appeared. A pair of glowing eyes staring directly into the lens. And then darkness. To this day, the footage remains a closely guarded secret. Some of the scientists involved in the study have refused to speak about it, while others have disappeared from public view entirely. No one knows for sure what was captured in those forests. Was it a lost soul, trapped between life and death? A product of radiation-induced evolution? Or something far older, something that had been lurking in the shadows of Chernobyl long before the disaster? One thing is certain, whatever it was, it saw them, and it knew they were watching.